Almost every piece of physical mail has one thing in common. At some point, it has to reach a mailbox. We see them everywhere beside roads, attached to houses, built into apartment walls, lined up inside post offices, and grouped together in entire neighborhoods. But a mailbox isn't always just a metal box with a door. Some are designed so mail carriers never have to leave their vehicles. Others allow residents to collect mail without stepping outside. Some serve hundreds of people from a single location, while others are built specifically to protect packages, handle business mail, or even send notifications directly to your phone. And the design of a mailbox depends heavily on where it is, who uses it, what it needs to hold, and how the mail carrier reaches it. So today we're breaking down the major types of mailboxes, how they work, and why so many different designs exist. And if you enjoy videos that explain the hidden design behind everyday objects, subscribe to the channel. There are plenty of things we use every day that are much more engineered than they first appear. Let's start with perhaps the most recognizable mailbox of all, rural mailboxes. The rural mailbox is the classic box mounted on a post beside a road or at the end of a driveway. Its location is one of its most important features. Instead of a mail carrier walking all the way to the front door, the box can be positioned so mail is delivered directly from the delivery vehicle. The familiar curved roof isn't only decorative, its simple shape helps shed rain and snow while avoiding flat surfaces where water can easily collect. At the front, a hinged door gives both the carrier and the resident access to the interior. And on many traditional designs, there's also a small flag. When residents place outgoing mail inside, raising the flag tells the carrier that something needs to be collected. Rural mailboxes are especially useful where houses are spread farther apart, and walking from door to door would make delivery extremely inefficient. That small box at the edge of the property is essentially a meeting point between a private home and a massive postal network. Wall-mounted mailboxes in neighborhoods where postal workers deliver mail on foot. The mailbox often moves much closer to the house. Wall-mounted mailboxes are attached directly to the exterior of a building, usually near the front door or entrance. They're common in older neighborhoods, townhouses, and areas where homes sit close to the sidewalk. Because they don't require a post or roadside installation, they take up very little space. Designs range from simple rectangular steel boxes to decorative versions made from aluminum, brass, or other weather-resistant materials. Some have lids on top, others use front-facing doors. Some even include separate compartments underneath for newspapers or other deliveries. The basic principle is simple. Instead of bringing the mailbox to the delivery route comes directly to the house. Mail slots. A mail slot eliminates the external box almost completely. Instead, a narrow opening is built directly into a door or wall. The mail carrier pushes letters through the slot and they fall into the interior of the building. That means residents can receive mail without going outside to retrieve it. Mail slots have been common in houses, apartments, offices, and older commercial buildings for generations. They're simple, compact, and require very little hardware, but they also have limitations. Capacity is small, large envelopes may not fit, packages obviously can't pass through, and if the opening isn't properly sealed, it can allow drafts, moisture, noise, or outside air into the building. A mail slot is one of the simplest delivery systems possible. But simplicity always comes with trade-offs. Through-the-wall mailboxes. Through-the-wall mailboxes take the same basic idea and add more storage. Instead of mail simply falling through a slot, the mailbox itself is built into the structure. One side faces the exterior, where the carrier deposits the mail. The other side can be opened from inside the building. This creates a secure transfer point directly through the wall. Residents or employees can collect mail without stepping outdoors. While the delivery person never needs access to the interior, these systems can be especially useful in businesses, offices, multifamily buildings, and homes where weather protection or security is important. The mailbox isn't hanging on the building, it's literally part of it. Door slot and recessed mailboxes. Some mailboxes are partially recessed into doors, walls, gates, or columns, rather than projecting outward like a conventional wall-mounted box. Much of the storage compartment sits inside the structure. This keeps the exterior profile smaller and can give the entrance a cleaner appearance. You'll sometimes see these integrated into brick columns near gates, or built into exterior walls around residential properties. They combine some of the accessibility of a roadside mailbox with the appearance and protection of a built-in system. Post office boxes. A post office box, usually called a P.O. box, moves the mailbox away from the home entirely. Instead of receiving mail at a residential or business address, the customer rents a numbered compartment inside a postal facility. Mail is delivered directly into that compartment, and the customer retrieves it using an authorized method such as a key or other access system. P.O. boxes are useful for several reasons. They can provide more privacy because the recipient doesn't need to use a home address for ordinary correspondence. They also provide a stable mailing location. If someone moves frequently, their physical address may change while their P.O. box remains the same. Businesses can benefit from that stability as well. And because the mail stays inside a postal facility until collection, it isn't sitting outside exposed to weather or casually accessible from the street. Apartment mailboxes. Now imagine trying to give every resident of a 20-story apartment building an individual mailbox outside. It would be incredibly inefficient. Apartment mailboxes solve this by centralizing delivery. Dozens or even hundreds of individual compartments are grouped into one organized system. Each apartment receives its own locked compartment, while the postal carrier can usually access the entire group from a dedicated delivery side or master opening. This dramatically speeds up the process. Instead of visiting hundreds of individual doors, one carrier can deliver mail for an entire building from one location. Modern apartment mailbox systems may be installed in lobbies, dedicated mail rooms, entrance areas, or exterior walls. And because regular compartments can't handle everything people order today, many are now paired with larger parcel lockers, cluster box units. Cluster box units, often called CBUs, take centralized delivery outside the apartment building. A CBU is a freestanding structure containing many individually locked mail compartments. Instead of every house having its own roadside mailbox, an entire group of homes shares one central delivery point. These systems are especially common in newer residential developments and communities. From the Postal Service's perspective, the advantage is efficiency. A carrier can serve dozens of addresses from a single stop instead of traveling from mailbox to mailbox. Residents still have their own secure compartments, but they may need to walk or drive a short distance to collect their mail. Many cluster units also contain larger parcel compartments for packages, so one structure can serve as a miniature neighborhood postal station. Commercial mailboxes businesses often have very different mailing needs from households. A small company might receive only a few letters each day. A large office building can receive mail for dozens of companies, departments, or individual suites. Commercial mailbox systems are designed around that higher volume. They may use larger compartments, reinforced construction, centralized locking systems, directory information, and separate sections for different tenants. In office complexes, one delivery point may distribute mail across an entire building. In other facilities, dedicated mailrooms sort incoming material before it reaches individual departments. The basic mailbox may look familiar, but the scale can be completely different. Parcel lockers? Traditional mailboxes were designed primarily around letters and small envelopes. Then online shopping changed everything. A pair of shoes, laptop, kitchen appliance, or box of groceries obviously isn't going to fit inside a normal mailbox. Parcel lockers provide larger secure compartments specifically for these deliveries. A driver places the package inside an available locker and secures the door. The recipient then receives some method of access, which may be a physical key, access code, barcode, electronic credential, or smartphone notification depending on the system. Parcel lockers are now common in apartment buildings, universities, residential communities, offices, retail locations, and dedicated pickup points. And because one locker system can receive packages for many different people, it reduces the need for deliveries to be left unattended outside individual doors. The mailbox has essentially expanded to match the size of modern shopping. Locking mailboxes, a standard residential mailbox, is mostly designed to keep mail organized and protected from the weather. A locking mailbox adds another goal: keeping unauthorized people out. Many designs use a slot or delivery door that allows mail to enter a protected compartment, but prevents someone from simply opening the box and removing everything inside. The homeowner accesses the storage area through a separate locked door. These systems can be useful in areas where mail theft is a concern, or when residents may leave mail inside for longer periods. Some locking models are designed like conventional roadside boxes. Others are larger, reinforced structures capable of accepting small parcels as well. The stronger the security becomes, the more the mailbox begins to resemble a small outdoor safe. Package drop boxes. A package drop box takes that idea further. Instead of being designed primarily for envelopes, it is built to accept larger deliveries. A courier opens a delivery compartment, places the package inside, and closes it. The package then drops or becomes locked inside a secure storage area that can only be opened by the owner. These boxes are particularly useful for homes that receive frequent deliveries but don't have someone available to accept them. They're essentially private parcel lockers for a single property. Decorative mailboxes. Not every difference between mailboxes is purely functional. Some are designed to become part of the property's appearance. Decorative mailboxes can match the architecture of a house, use elaborate posts, incorporate stone or brick, or take the shape of unusual objects. Some resemble miniature houses, others are shaped like animals, vehicles, sports equipment, or completely custom designs. Mechanically, they still perform the same basic job, but instead of trying to disappear into the landscape, they become part of it, for something that may remain outside a home for decades. Appearance can matter almost as much as function. Weather-resistant mailboxes. And surviving outside for decades isn't easy. A mailbox may experience rain, snow, intense sunlight, freezing temperatures, coastal salt, dust, humidity, and thousands of opening and closing cycles. Weather-resistant mailboxes use materials and construction methods designed to handle these conditions. Galvanized steel, aluminum, stainless steel, protective coatings, drainage features, overlapping doors, and corrosion-resistant hardware can all extend the life of the box. In snowy regions, even the post matters. It has to survive frozen ground, accumulating snow, and sometimes the force of snow pushed aside by passing plows. A mailbox may look like one of the simplest objects on a property, but it has to survive outside 24 hours a day, year after year. Temporary mailboxes. Sometimes a permanent mailbox isn't available. A home may be under construction. A damaged post may need replacement. Roadwork might temporarily block access to the normal delivery location. Temporary mailboxes provide a short-term solution until the permanent system can be restored. They can be simple, but placement still matters. A temporary box has to remain accessible to the delivery route while protecting the mail and avoiding interference with traffic, construction, or pedestrians. Even a mailbox that's only going to exist for a few weeks still has to work as part of the delivery network. Smart mailboxes. And finally, even mailboxes are becoming connected devices. Smart mailboxes can use sensors to detect when a door opens, when mail arrives, or when a package has been placed inside. Instead of walking outside several times to check an empty box, the owner can receive a notification on a phone. More advanced designs may include electronic locks, cameras, remote access, package sensors, or integration with smart home systems. For secure package delivery, some systems can even generate temporary access credentials for authorized couriers. At that point, the mailbox is no longer just passive storage, it's actively monitoring what happens inside it. Despite all these different designs, every mailbox is solving the same basic problem. How do you transfer physical mail from a massive delivery network to one specific person or organization safely and efficiently? A rural mailbox brings the delivery point to the roadside. A wall-mounted box brings the carrier to the house. A P.O. box keeps the mail inside a postal facility. An apartment mailbox can serve hundreds of people from one location. A cluster box can centralize an entire neighborhood, and parcel lockers have transformed the mailbox to handle a world where deliveries are increasingly much larger than letters. Some mailboxes are built for convenience. Others prioritize capacity, security, accessibility, weather protection, or technology. But every one of them represents the final few feet of a journey that may have crossed cities, states, or entire countries. So the next time you open a mailbox, think about how much infrastructure had to work correctly for that letter or package to arrive inside it, because the mailbox may be the simplest part of the postal system, but it's the part where the entire journey finally ends. And now you know the major types of mailboxes.